Hi, my name is Thomas Foster and this is another episode of a multi-part tutorial for Cubase 11 by Steinberg. In this tutorial I show you how to record, import, edit audio and how to change the tempo of a loop. Have fun! After opening Cubase it should look like this, and we choose Create Empty to create an empty project. Cubase asked me where to place all the files, the audio files, etc. So we say, I choose a folder and say Open. And now it looks like this. The first thing we want to do is we want to create an empty track. For this, we click here on the plus, or you can use the T command to add a track. It's not an instrument or sampler or MIDI track that we want to create. It's an audio track. So we say Add Track. Now we want to record audio from our microphone. So the first thing we do is we go to Studio Setup. Here in audio systems, we take care that we choose the driver of our audio interface. When this is perfect, we say OK. And now we go to Audio Connection. Here we go to Inputs and we say Add Bass. I want to create a new bass for my microphone, so I say mic for microphone. This is mono, it's just one channel. I say Add Bass. Here on this yellow area, I can click to have this pop-up menu, and my microphone is on the input number 5 of my Universal Audio interface, so I choose Input Universal Audio Thunderbolt 5. Wonderful, let's close it again. Let's click on our audio track, and here in the inspector, if you don't see the inspector, you can open it here and click on your track. You can choose here in Audio 01 the input of your channel. So I click on it and I choose the microphone. Here you can choose the mix console, and here we see our stereo input, our microphone input, that's the bass we created. And here you already see my voice, the volume of my voice. And here is our track. Let's call this with my name, I call it Thomas. And here you see the stereo output, so all your tracks are at the end at the stereo out. And now we are ready to record something, so let's click here the record button or the star on your keyboard. And now you see immediately that my voice is creating some wave files. And that should be enough for now. So we simply click stop and let's listen to what we've done. Button or the star on your keyboard. And now you see immediately that my voice. Great, let's zoom in a little bit. You can do this here with this slider. Okay. And I move it over here more in the middle. If you go with the mouse on top of your clip, of the pattern that we recorded, you see these little dots. With the lowest dot, you can close it, make it shorter. And you will realize that it's snapping exactly on this bars. If you don't want that, hold down the Control or Command key. Then you can end wherever you want. I want to end now exactly on the 9, so I don't need the Control key. And I also want to cut a little bit the beginning. So I click here on the left dot and make it shorter from the left side. Now let's listen to it. And now you see immediately that my voice, wonderful. Let's go to the dot number 2 in the middle here. Here you can loops, means repeatings. So I click on it, I move the mouse to the right, and immediately I create 3 repeatings. Let's listen to that. And now you see immediately that my voice, that my voice, and now you see, okay, I think that's enough, you understand. But this is great if you have an audio loop, for example, a beat or something, and you don't want to have the beat just over 1 or 4 bars, you want to have it over the whole song or at some parts of the song, so you don't have to copy your audio file by holding down the Alt key. You simply can do this with this loop button here. Okay, let's open our audio file again a little bit to have it longer, because I want to show you now what this dot here is doing. Here you can make a fade out. So I click on it, I move it to the left, and now we hear the fade out on your keyboard. And now you see immediately that my voice is creating some wave files. And that's a perfect fade out, and you also can create a fade in. And now you see immediately that my voice is creating some wave files. And so on. There is another dot here in the middle. Here you can change the volume in dB. We go now up to +5 dB. Take care that you don't create distortion by making it too big, but something like this is cool. Let's listen to it. Button or the star on your keyboard. You see immediately that my voice is created. And for sure we can use something like the split tool here to make some splits and create more audio files, more patterns out from one. Right? Okay. Now let's take a look how we import audio. First question is where to get audio. I mean, you can buy for money a library with tons of loops and samples and everything that you can use for your production. There are special web pages where you pay every month a fee, and then you can download from this web page your audio files. But there's one great special web page that I'm involved in developing. This is MUGENT, M-U-G-E-N-T, MUGENT.com. Because at MUGENT.com, all your samples are free. You can download them for free and you can use it in your production, and it's totally legal, and you can create it in your production and upload your production at Spotify or iTunes without any copyright problems. Here in MUGENT, you can search with text for everything, and you can use these menus. So the first thing I want to show you is, let's go to beat, and immediately you find here a lot of beats. Let's listen to one. They all sound amazing, like what you hear in the charts or in the big club tracks on Ibiza. And with one click, you can download them, what is amazing. And you can say, yes, I want a beat, but just in a special tempo area, like 100 to 115 BPM, or I just want to hear progressive house beats. Let's check out something like reggaeton. And again, just one click to download it, and then it's in your download folder and you can use it. So to reset all these menus here, I click on MUGENT because I want to start from scratch. And here is a menu called Family, also called the colors, because in here you find a lot of colors. So every color has a special tempo, a special key, and a special chord progression. That means if I just download samples in blue, I can be sure that they fit together because they all have the same tempo and the same key. So let's go to pink, 118 beats per minute, G minor. All the samples that we see here are 118 beats per minute, and they are in G minor, and they have the same chord progression. But instead of listening through them, I click here on group and go to beats. So I find a beat in pink means in 118 beats per minute. Let's listen to this one here. That's nice. Pink beat electro house fat. Let's download it. Let's go to bass. We need a bass for sure. House pink. Let's listen to this. Maybe a little bit too aggressive. Let's listen to this one here. That's nice. Pink house bass. We click on free download and let's go here to keys because we want to find some keyboards in pink 118 beats per minute. For example, pink pluck. Let's click on free download. Let's use the pink club piano, also the Wurlitzer we should have, and also the pink synth. Sometimes you could maybe see this. This could be a little bit thank you from your side that you are allowed to use the samples. So you made a little posting on your Facebook page or Instagram or whatever to say, I love MUGENT and I used some samples. They are all free. Try it. Okay. The last thing I want to do is I want to go to brass and maybe we find here a nice brass sample. Why don't we listen to this one here? Ah, that's cool. Let's download the pink sax cool lead full wet. All right. This should be enough. They all are now in your download folder. I placed them already here in a special folder called Pink MUGENT. And you see in every audio file, in the name of the audio file, you see the key and the tempo of your beat. And this is 118 beats per minute. So let's bring our song here to 118 beats per minute. And now we import our first beat and place it here. Now Cubase asks you if you want to copy the file to your project folder. Maybe if you want to open the project 1 year later and the sample is not exactly here in your download folder where it was, then Cubase has problem to find this audio file. But if you copy it to your project folder, then you always will have a copy in this project and Cubase will also find in 3 years or later this audio file. So I don't do this, but maybe if you want to continue later with this project, you should do this. I say okay. And now we listen to it. Oh, sorry, I wanted to import the beat. So let's place the beat here. So always take care that the volume of everything you're doing is not too much. So here in the mixer that you can open by clicking here on Mix Console, maybe you have to click here this button to see this. We go down with the volume of our drum track. Maybe let's first give it a useful name like beat or drums. And we go down to something like -4. Yeah, that's cool. And if we click on the metronome here, you can do this also with the letter C, then we can hear if the beat is perfect in time with our song. 1, 2, 3. If we change the tempo, maybe we make it a little bit faster. It's not in time. Also, if we make it slower, let's go down to 104. This is not working. So what can we do? Let's go back to 118. For this, we have to use a feature called audio warping. Sometimes you say also time stretching, because we want to change the tempo of our loop without changing the key, without making it higher. Normally, if you make something faster, it's also higher. So to change this, we double-click on our loop, on our audio file, and we activate here in Audio Warp the musical mode. If you don't see this, maybe you have to open it here. Exactly. Double-click, we activate the musical mode, we take care that the tempo here of our audio file is exactly the tempo of our beat. In this case, we know it. It's 118 beats per minute. And now, if we change the tempo, let's do this. Let's go up to 125. Let's go down to 90. Let's go up to 160. If you make it too extreme, it does not sound nice. But if you change it just a little bit, 10 beats up, 5 beats down, then it's not a problem. But I go back now to 118. So if you want that, take care that you double click it and activate the musical mode. If you don't want that, deactivate the musical mode, then you always have the original tempo of your audio file. So let's bring in some other instruments. Let's continue with the house bass. I make here a loop so we always can listen to these 8 bars here. We activate the loop here. It's a little bit too loud, so we go to the mixer console, and to find the perfect tempo, I double click it and call it bass. To find the perfect tempo, we go down with the volume and go in slowly while listening. I think that's okay. Let's bring in the Wurlitzer. Okay. We call it Rhodes because it's a Fender Rhodes electro piano. We go down with the volume to -infinity and go in slowly. That's nice. Let's bring in the club piano. We call this track the piano. We go down with the volume. That's nice. And we bring in the pink plug. Also here, this is a melody, so let's call it mellow. And let's find the right volume. I like this phrase, but for me it's a little bit too much. It sounds a little bit retro, kinky. Yeah, too much melody, too many notes for me. So let's take the split tool here and let's make a cut on the second bar, on the third and the fourth, and here at the end. Every 2 bars on, in my case I started 5, so on 7, 9, 11 and 13, I make a cut. I go back to the normal mouse and now I erase everything that is here behind it. I erase phrase number 2 and phrase number 4. Let's listen to it from here. Okay, that's much better. Still too much mellow. So let's zoom in a little bit. We can do this by using the letter H, for example, or with the slider here. I want to erase the last note. So we can do this by moving here with the lowest dot, this to the left, holding down the Control or Command key. And now we erase the last note. Let's listen to it. Sometimes the reverb stops too suddenly. To hear this, every track you can mute by clicking here on M. Now we muted the melody, but I want exactly the opposite. I want to hear it solo. So I click on the solo button. Now all the other tracks have the mute button pressed and we can listen just to the pink plug. And now we want to create a little fade out. So let's click here at the upper corner and move it a little bit to the left. That's much better. Let's do the same here at the second phrase. We erase the last note, holding down the Command or Control key, make a little fade to erase the last note. Too much fade. Still, this does not sound so nice because the reverb, there's a lot of space on this track and it stops suddenly. So what can we do? We can add an audio effect. To do this, we click on the track, we go here to Inserts, and here we have empty slots, and on the slots we can add an effect. So let's click here and let's go to Delay. And we choose the ping pong delay. Don't worry if you don't see so much delays, because on my system we have installed a lot of VST plugins that you maybe don't have. So, but what you should have is the Cubase ping pong delay. So let's click on it. Now we see it. What is a delay doing? It's like an echo. It's repeating what we heard. In this case, it's repeating after one bar. Let's listen to this. Wonderful. But we want to have a faster delay time, so let's click here where it says 1/1 and we go to a quarter. And now it's much faster. How often you hear the repeating, you say here with feedback. If you bring this down, it's just one repeating. Let's hear it again. But let's go up to 50, but we filter it a little bit. So with the low filter, we go up to 500. With the high filter, we go down to something like 6. And let's listen again. Now it has not so much frequencies, sounds a little bit better, but still it's too much. So let's go down with the mix. If you go to the left side, you hear just your original signal without the delay effect. If you go to the right side, you just hear the effect. So what we should do is go to something like 40% to hear strong, the original signal, and a little bit of our effect. That's nice. Let's listen in the mix. Now it sounds perfect for me. Let's add the brass section on a new track. Okay, we name it brass. Bring down the volume to -7. I like very much this last phrase we heard now. So why don't we reduce it just to the last phrase? I make here with my knife a cut. And this was too much. Maybe we place it somewhere here. Now we want to make a little arrangement. To do this, let's close everything that we don't need. So we close all the zones here. So we have a very big arrangement window. Let's zoom out a little bit so we see a lot more of our arrangement. Let's bring all the tracks somewhere here. I go to 27, that's okay. So we want to make a club track for the club. So we start with the beat. After 8 bars, we bring in the bass, but we want to continue with the beat. So let's open here in the middle where it says repeat. Then it sounds like this. After 8 more bars, we want to add the Wurlitzer. And after 8 more bars, we want to bring in, no, maybe this is the right time to make a little break. So let's stop here with the Wurlitzer. I make a cut. Let's erase everything. And now we bring in our melody and we repeat the Wurlitzer. Let's listen to this. By holding down the Alt key or the Option key, you can copy beat and bass. My name is Thomas Foster and this is my YouTube or Facebook channel Thomas Foster Music Production, which is all about music production. Here you will find tutorials on the most important DAWs or music programs, the most important plugins, and I'll show you how to produce the current sound of the charts and the clubs. If you have any questions about this video or more generally about music production, just write me in the comments. I'll answer all your questions. Of course, I'm also happy about a simple feedback or suggestion for another video. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel to not miss any of my videos. At this point, I say thank you for being there. Always stay creative. Cheers!